What is happening? We're live. Hope everybody's doing good. And I'll tell you what's up in just a second. Let's see and wait a little bit until some people join. And then we get going. Alex is there as always. Hope you're doing good. Good, yeah, so let's get started. So for those of you who are not live and watching this later, we are always going live Tuesday and Thursday so far. And yeah, the last two are just Q&A because it's been a little bit hectic, but I have something cool to announce very soon. Probably can do this today. And yeah, other than that, today, not a specific topic, just live Q&A. And if you're watching this, today, going on a hike. Good stuff. Good stuff. I was not on a hike. I was on my mountain bike to training and back. That's all that I have to offer. Not much, but better than nothing. And yes, so is there anybody in the chat who thought about joining Swimazing back in the day and was maybe a little bit unsure about the offer? Maybe it was a little bit too expensive, all that good stuff. For all of those out there, I have very good news because I am going to partner with Marcus Marthaler, and we're going to launch something new this weekend. And yeah, I hope you guys are joining. This is going to be very much very similar to what I've been offering in the past, only a lot cooler with a lot more interaction between the community and us. We're going to go live at least once per day. We have all sorts of cool stuff happening within our little community. And yeah, you can become a member. The first 100 that join can become a member for just $19. So, and then after it gets more expensive, the more you move on. And I'm really excited about this. I think this is going to be really, really exciting, really amazing. And I cannot wait what you guys have to say once you join it. So in other words, there has never been a better time to join my training programs, because you don't only just get the training programs, you get everything that Marcus has to say as well. You get live Q&As with us. We're planning on having some morning coffee sessions with you guys where we just hang out and get you started for the day. Lots of motivational stuff and just a very live community with top-notch world-class swim training. And we're going to launch this weekend, and I will keep you posted. There's never been a better time to be alive. I hope so. I really think I have a really, really good feeling about this. And these prices are lifetime. So if you join now in the beginning with the first 100 people, you will pay $19 for the rest of your life. And my goal and our goal is to over deliver huge. So I'm willing to bet that this is going to be the best $19 that you're ever going to invest if you're serious about freestyle swimming, freestyle training, hanging out with me and Marcus, getting motivation, like really joining a community that's striving and working together. I really think I couldn't be more excited. I really could not be more excited, and it's going to be something I'm very much looking forward to. So this is as much as I'm going to say. You're going to hear this from Marcus and myself in the coming days as soon as it's available for you. And yeah, like I said, it's going to be awesome. I think we're going to go live on Sunday. And when we go live, you will already be having access to basically everything that Swimazing is offering right now. So you get Actually, I don't know yet, because there's a cool feature that you can unlock certain things the more active you are. I will be including for example, the flip turn mastery, but I think I'm going to make you work for it a little bit. Not financially, but in terms of activity, being active in the community and all that good stuff. So I'm going to be creative, but yeah, if you're joining early, you will be. It's a great deal. I mean, it's by far the best deal that I ever had, ever since I'm offering swim coaching since 2012. And yeah, like I said, I want to grow with you guys together. Marcus wants to grow with you together. And we're going to try really hard to make this amazing. Okay, so stay tuned for that. Follow me on Instagram. I'm going to write this in the chat. Most of you guys probably know who Marcus Marthaler is anyways, but I'm going to write it in there anyways. His Insta is this. Find him on there. By the way, Marcus is also the guy who is doing the swim camp in Saarbrücken with me. We did it in the past already. It was amazing. We did it last year towards the end and got really good feedback. Oh, so there will be achievements like an RPGS. I have no idea what RPGS is. Probably should know that, but I have no idea. But basically, you unlock achievements by being active in the community, getting likes, posting some stuff. That's how you can move up the ranks. That's all you have to do. Flip turn's going to be good at the moment. Probably is more to swim longer without fin snorkel is my problem. We're going to have that in there also. Okay, the beginner's guide. I don't know if this is going to be available right away because I told you guys I'm leaving for a training camp in Malaga next week on Tuesday, and I want to do the video footage there because it's just going to be a much better setting, being in an outdoor pool and yeah, basically sunlight, getting a little bit of a tan and all that good stuff. It's gonna be better there. Okay, but so much for that. Stay tuned and be ready on Sunday. That's all I have for that. And other than that, I'm here to answer your questions for the next probably 45 minutes or so. Okay, obviously there's also, once we have it launched, you can also post in there what you're looking for, what you want. And also with that, we're going to do our best to deliver. There's my dog with an egg. Huh, whatever. So, anyways, is there anything I can do for you? Any swimming related questions? For those of you who are hardcore swimming fans, the NCAA men's competition is happening right now. For those of you who don't know what NCAA means, it's the National Collegiate Athletic Association, and these are the dog cam. Dog cam is not here. I'm not touching the camera. Otherwise, I'm going to mess up my whole setup. And we all know I am not an expert with video setup. Anyways, the National Collegiate Athletic Association, these are the fastest American college swimmers. Also, some of our German elite swimmers are competing there. And very, very, very fast swimmers. It's held in a short course yard pool, so don't be confused by the times. They are a little bit faster. 100 yards, I want to say, is 91.8 meters. I hope I'm not butchering this right now, but I think it's about right. And some very, very, very fast swimming happening already. If you want to follow along a little bit, you can do so on www.swimswam.com. You can read about it. I'll post it in the chat. And if you have a VPN from the United States, you may even actually be able to watch it on ESPN Plus. You will not be able to access that with a German server. But I'm sure there are some computer wizards out there among you who can figure that out. but I'm not encouraging anything. You do whatever you need to do. Okay, but that is very, very fast swimming, and really some of the greatest swimmers in the world, and certainly lots of Olympic medalists from Paris that's coming up will be competing there. So if you're interested in fast underwater kicking, super fast sprinting, fast starts, fast turns, basically the latest and best turns, starts, underwater kicks, you will find it all in there. Like, very, very exciting. So if you're a die-hard swim fan, I highly suggest you check that stuff out. What else is going on? I introduced in the beginning that we're going to get started with our community. And other than that, training's going well with my swim team here in Saarbrücken. And that's about that. So like I said, if you have any questions, just shoot them, and I will. There we go. I am preparing for a 15K swim. That is awesome. Swimming is not my main sport, and I train only once a week now. From June, I can train 2 to 3 times a week. What should I focus in training, distance, and stroke rate? Mr. or Mrs. Wham, I don't know if you're male or female. I highly suggest on Sunday to sign up for our community, because you will be getting access to everything you need to crush this swim, I promise you. But I will answer this, of course, right now. So once a week is not enough, but if you're limited in time right now, 2 to 3 times a week is okay. You should focus in training. Stroke rate, I wouldn't worry about whatsoever, because that's highly dependent and individual from swimmer to swimmer. But distances, once a week, I would swim something long without rest, and I would work my way up. This can be, let's take Andreas Basher again as an example. When we prepared him for his world record in the English channel, the longest straight swim in training he did was a 30K. Which is pretty crazy. We started at 10K, and then once a month we went from 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, back to 20, and then that was the taper, and then we rested. Then we went to England and broke the world record. And I think this is very important, because just swimming regular training sessions and intervals can be misleading, because you never really quite know if your body's ready. So you want to be prepared. I'm not saying you need to swim the entire 15K in training, but I would highly encourage you to at least do a 10K. While you do that, it is very important that you're already testing your nutrition. You need to be putting together a nutrition plan for your open water swim. 15K, I would imagine somebody who is not a professional swimmer is going to be taking at least 4 hours for that, probably longer. And you absolutely need to fuel. Okay, make sure you test that stuff. If you don't test that stuff, I've seen crazy stuff. You can get diarrhea, all sorts of stuff, and that's not something you want to happen on race day. So, really good things. I mean, classic stuff. Power bar makes good stuff. Mountain is good. High five is good. And all the athletes, the high-level athletes that I know, I talked to Anna Haug about that. I talked to Vashi. I mean, Anna Haug was the one who recommended it to us. Is the products from Caroline Rauscher. She's making very, very good stuff, and the athletes tend to do really well on that. Okay, so Google Caroline Rauscher. Here, spelled like this. It is quite pricey, but it's good. That's generally how it goes. If something is good, it's usually expensive. Unless, of course, you join my community. It's amazing, and it's still very cheap in the beginning. Sorry, I'm going to be spamming you guys with that a lot in the upcoming days. You have to deal with that. Okay, I hope that helped you, Wham. Sputnik, Hayan, how was your training intensity structured back in the day? Is professional swim training polarized as it is in, for example, running? A lot of easy volume with a couple of key sessions. Yes and no. It depends on the time of the season. As a distance guy, there are usually a couple of weeks throughout the year where you think it's just happening every day at least once, where your coach kicks you in the ass, so to say. Generally, the answer is yes. Generally, you want to have high volume with lots of base pace, but being said, base pace for a distance guy is significantly higher than base pace for 100 or 200 freestyler. They tend to take it quite easy when they do their generic pace, versus a distance guy is always kind of on the gas pedal. Not all out, but they tend to move pretty quick throughout a training session. And then, of course, when the main sets are coming, you are going hard. And you can also go hard short. I mentioned this way back in the day, a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago by now probably, when I was talking about aerobic interval training for distance guys. And for example, today I did this with my swimmers because they are a little bit tired and I don't want to lose them mentally. So what I did today is I did a very, very light aerobic interval set. They probably didn't even know there was aerobic interval training, but it turned out well. Sometimes you can trick them a little bit, and you get what you want. So today we did 3 rounds of 400 fins, 60% freestyle, significantly easier than normal swimming. And then we did 4 times 100 IM, where we go 25, 90%, 75 easy, then 25. Not easy, 50%. Then we did the butterfly, 50%, the backstroke 90%, and the breaststroke and the freestyle 50%. Then we did the fly and the backstroke 50%, the breaststroke 90%, and the freestyle. Always 25 fast, moving through the IM basically. And I got what I wanted. I was really happy with how that turned out, because sometimes when you're tired, especially mentally, it is hard to still find the quality in those interval sets. And I think it's more mentally than physically. And if you can tell that that's the case, then I would rather have short distances with high quality that is fun and I get the speed that I want, other than forcing them through another tough set where the quality is so-so. That being said, if you really want to develop elite athletes, the work needs to be done at some point. Okay, so you have to be clever. You have to push them, and if they cannot take it anymore, you have to back up a little bit. But as a general question, yes, you want to be working polarized as well in swimming. Okay, anything else? Those are good questions. Interesting questions. I have 9 viewers right now. I know the chat is always a little bit delayed, so I'm just going to chill a little bit, wait for something. Here, while I look at this thing, look at this guy. Look at this little guy. Found him recently. That's a story behind this thing, is that I bought this in Shanghai in 2011 during a swimming world championship, and didn't even know I still had that, but just recently found him again. So I'm going to keep him here for good luck. It's going to be the good luck charm for a great start for our new swimming community. Right? Right. Okay, what would you say? Would you say sometimes trained too hard back in the day, USA days, in terms of overtraining? Certainly yes, 100%. I talked to Anthony Nesty maybe 2 years ago, and he said it himself that back in the day we may have hit the gas pedal a little bit too hard every now and then. I mean, first of all, every training session was in a drag suit, which I don't think is clever at all. And I don't think anybody really does this anymore, because you're just riding too low in the water. And especially if you swim breaststroke and butterfly, it just really hurts you. And then we did Dryland training at a level that, in my opinion, was absurd, especially in my freshman year. But all that being said, I had a great time because it was really almost like a boot camp, like an army boot camp, and everybody was working together. And when everybody's working together and you get this group energy going, it's really not that bad. So all that being said, I have to say I enjoyed it, but I think, especially when I compare it with what I did in Würzburg, I think we went too hard, and I could have done a lot more in college, which unfortunately I hadn't. Trust me, I would have loved nothing more than being a more successful collegiate swimmer. I was an NCAA All-American one time. In 2004, I finished, I think, 6th or 7th in the 1500, which is pretty cool. But I think, obviously, there would have been much more possible. But it is what it is, as they say. It was a great time. Jeremy Foley was the athletic director back in the day at the University of Florida. In my freshman year, he put us all together, all the athletes, and said, when you look back on this time, these are going to be the best 4 years of your life. And when he was sitting in front of me, I was thinking, I don't know, the man's a little bit crazy right now, but looking back, he was right. I mean, this was such an amazing time in my life, and I cannot recommend it anymore to all the young athletes out there. You basically train, compete, live, learn, go to class with one big family. With us, it was a men's and a women's swim team, 25 men, 25 women, and they're really all almost like brothers and sisters. You have great coaches. In my case, at the University of Florida, I would say literally probably the best coaching staff in the world. And you get to go to, you get free tickets for the football games, the basketball games. You get a great education, and I don't know, he was right. It was really an absolutely amazing time, and I'm very, very grateful that I got to experience that. It's a time that I look back to, and it makes me very happy. But yeah, it was tough training. And then next question, can you tell something more about the upcoming thing that you will launch? So basically what this is, it's going to be a community. So you sign up for a community, and within that community, you're going to get training plans, courses. We have a calendar that you can click where you will be able to, it's almost, think about like a Facebook, but just for us, with our own little community. And you can post anything. We can do threads. You can answer with threads. We can answer with video. We have Zoom calls. It's really anything that I ever dreamed about, all within one platform. And you're going to hear very shortly what this is. Maybe some of you guys already know it, but I don't want to spoil it yet. And then you're gonna see. But again, I can really encourage you to join. You will not regret it. And again, if you're within the first 100 to sign up, $19 a month to hang out with me and Marcus, if you like us. And I assume because you're watching, you do like us. There's no better way to interact than what you're going to get there. And you're not only getting this interaction that we're having right now, you're getting all the training also. And like I said, it's, in my opinion, it's no brainer. Okay, next question. Gefährlich, aber ehrlich. I love the name. Hey Jan, hältst du es für sinnvoll, sich einem Schwimmstil anzutrainieren? Ich meine beispielsweise den Galloping Style, der viele Triathleten. Okay, so in English, do you think it is smart or clever or a good approach to learn a certain swim style? For example, the galloping style, like hip-driven freestyle, shoulder-driven freestyle, we've all heard. Everybody calls it a little bit, it's a little bit different. But I think I have mixed feelings about this, to be honest, because I think I would almost say that the technique that fits to you comes to you pretty naturally. Some people are great freestylers and they operate more from the upper body. Great example, still two-time world record holder, from a buddy of mine in the national team, Paul Biedermann. Okay, he did most of his work from his upper body. Obviously did amazing. I mean, he still holds 2 world records, won multiple world medals. He won basically everything. The only thing he didn't win is Olympic medals, which I think he was more than deserving. But hey, nothing to be ashamed of. One of the greatest swimmers that Germany has ever seen. And yeah, really nice guy also. And so he is from his legs, from his upper body. And then, for example, Ryan Lochte, he was doing everything from his legs. His kick was everything. His kick was directing the cadence from his arms. And then we have hybrids. Like I used to be in the middle. I used to be, like you said, like this galloping style. I was using my kick and my upper body together. And an example for that in today's day and age would be Katie Ledecky, for example. Also a little bit more upper body, but still using both. And so I don't really know if you should copy, because when I saw Ryan Lochte swim, when I got there, it looked so pretty, so efficient, beautiful stroke. And I was thinking, man, maybe I should swim like that. And I could swim like that. I could make it look like that, but I would be slower than when I used to swim the technique that was fitting to my body. So I would be careful with that. I would always try to tweak and improve the technique that you're already swimming right now. I think that's the best approach. Yes, it will be a monthly payment. But then again, $19, that's one order at Lieferando less a month, one pizza less a month. Or you pick whatever you do. Everybody is having little weaknesses here and there. And 19 euros is not much. I mean, it's not 19 euros, like 16 euros, 17 euros. If you are a swim fan. I think if you're a swim fan, it's a very, very good investment. Okay, but anyways, good questions. Really good questions. Again, I cannot stress enough, be careful with copying somebody else's technique, because usually the technique that you're swimming at the moment is going to be good for you, because that's why it came to you in the first place. Generally, human beings and swimmers tend to find the technique that fits to their body the best. Of course, that doesn't mean that you cannot learn anything else. I mean, you can learn almost everything, but I don't know. I'm just saying I don't know if it makes that much sense. Let's see if I missed anything. No, we're good. What's the best technique for a big guy with joints? I was going to say, I hope you have joints. I don't know. See, I give you an example. Let's go back to Paul Biedermann. Paul Biedermann probably in his prime weighed about, I was 84. He was taller and bigger than me. So I would estimate he was probably 90 to 95 kilo. Maybe even 100 at times during the season. He was doing a lot of gliding, not much kicking when he was doing longer stuff. Of course, when you see him do a 200, he was 6-speed kicking the whole way. Then you have somebody like Grant Hackett, taller still, one of the greatest distance swimmers of all time. He didn't lose a 1500 meter race for, I want to say, 10 years, between 1997 and 2007, multiple time Olympic champion. Certainly 100 kilos, even in his prime. Massive dude. 6-speed kicking all the way. Okay, then you have somebody like Jörg Hoffmann, for example. Jörg Hoffmann, old distance legend in Germany, world champion 1990 in the 1500 freestyle. He is now the Bundesstützpunkt coach in Potsdam. He was all upper body. He was just dragging his legs behind him. Worked out well for him. Kieran Perkins, same stuff. I don't know he was that big, but Hoffy is a massive guy. I mean, when he stands in front of me, this day. I'm like, Jesus, this guy's a big man. So again, it depends. I mean, it really depends on what fits for you. There's not one size fits all for technique. It just depends on what works best for you. Okay, gefährlich aber ehrlich. Did a world-class open water swimmer like Thomas Lurz change his style when he went from pool to open water, high cadence? Not at all. That's a fantastic question. And that's one of the most misunderstood things out there with swimmers who are not on a professional level. Obviously, if you approach it from a logical standpoint, you want to swim open water races exactly with the same technique that you train throughout the year. Everything else would be crazy. Think about it. If you train a certain technique all year and then you go to the competition and do something else, that wouldn't make any sense, right? So even when it gets wavy, choppy, there's not some magic switch that you turn on and then you swim all of a sudden a different technique. You swim the same technique all the time. It gets tougher when it's choppy and when it's wavy, but you're still going to try to do your best. So the answer is he did exactly the same stuff that he did in pool. And Thomas was just amazing with his mental toughness. He was capable of swimming in any condition. I know the guy very well. It's still a close friend of mine. Trained together, did almost everything together basically for 5 years. And I don't know if I ever met anyone who is mentally tougher than Thomas Lurz. I don't think so. I really don't think so. And it showed in competition also. If you want to beat him, he's gonna give everything that his body has to offer. And when you beat him, you really beat him. There's no quitting in this man. Never seen him quit. Just, I don't know, just really, really cool guy. Not that much talent, not really a great swimmer, but work ethic, fight, mental toughness, the best I've ever seen. And that's why he was a 12-time world champion and 2-time Olympic medalist. And great guy also. How important is hypoxic training for long distance swimming and triathletes? You can take it like this and throw it in a trash can. Don't need it. Keep it simple. If you swim hard, if you swim fast, you're going to be out of breath. It's as simple as that. We literally did almost no breathing every 7 or every 9. None whatsoever. I think if you're a sprinter, there's a lot of sense. Like, for example, sometimes what I like to do with my sprinters is they have to hold their head underwater for 60 seconds and then without taking a breath, they have to go 25 all out. I think that makes sense because especially on a world-class level, you should be able to swim a 50 freestyle without breathing. But long-distance swimming is all about aerobic performance. Some lactate threshold, but it's all about aerobic performance. And I don't know. I don't see any point in restricting. That's training methods from the 1990s. Nobody does that shit anymore. I don't think there's any point in it. I'll tell my coach, okay, don't tell him I said so. Or maybe if you want, you can. I don't know. I'll be fine. I'll be okay. What we did do in Florida sometimes, I remember Coach Troy sometimes came up with the craziest stuff. Who of our viewers is using a swim snorkel? Probably most of you, right? Now imagine you take your swim snorkel, you tape it shut. Like literally you put tape, close it. And then you used to take a pen and put a small hole, literally this big, in there. And then he said, swim. And I was like, oh my God. Man, I literally almost died. It was, breathing sounded like this. And he said, yeah, this is awesome. This is going to simulate altitude training. And I don't know what his crazy ideas were, but man, really, really tough. I don't know if that make any sense. I don't want to question Coach Troy because he's literally one of the greatest swim coaches to ever walk the planet. But sometimes I thought, my man, I don't know what you drank this morning, but this is a little bit wild. So that was the only hypoxic thing or that I can remember, but we didn't do that long. I think we did that one season and then he scratched it again. How do you rate Jan Frodeno's swimming technique? Pretty good. I think Jan Frodeno actually has a swimming background. And I think what is important for everybody out there, you should not judge swimming by how's rhythm is, and if it splashes a lot. That stuff really doesn't matter much. You need to look for the basics, and his body position is good. His head positioning is decent. He is very high in the water. He holds on to a lot of water, and I mean, it's not by accident that basically every time he swam in Hawaii, he was out top 3. So he's certainly one of the best swimmers he used to be, he retired now. Certainly one of the very, very best swimmers in triathlon throughout his career. I don't know how it was in Olympic triathlon. I didn't follow it back then, but I would assume if he won the Olympics, he was probably at least a decent swimmer, like he was in the front pack. And so I would say very, very good. One of the best. It is very hard to be in the front in swimming if you don't do the basics right. I will go back to my man Andreas Basher. So many people say that his technique when he swims is bad, ugly, whatever. Maybe it's not the prettiest to look at, but if you really understand distance, or if you understand freestyle swimming, he's doing lots of things right. And I think I talked about this last time already. His head position is always good. His body positioning is always like that, always good. He has a pretty good high elbow catch, at least decent. Okay, his stroke length is good. His kick, when he actually uses it, is decent. He just doesn't have any speed anymore. But again, you don't go 110 or 111 on average for 32 kilometers in an 18-degree Celsius English Channel. That doesn't just happen. That's not easy to do. Everybody who thinks it's easy, give it a try. I promise you, very, very hard. So I think lots of people look at good freestyle the wrong way. They think if somebody goes very slow with their arms and low cadence and no splash, that's good. I don't know. I look for different things. I think it's very important that your head is in the right position, that your arms enter in the right position, that you're pulling the right way. And then if you recover your arms like this, or if it splashes a little bit, I personally don't care that much. Thomas Lutz is another example for this. I mean, when you saw him swim, man, I don't even know. For years, people made fun of our swim team in Würzburg. They called us, I don't even know, they called us like, look, they swim so ugly, and look, they're the Kloppers, or I don't even know what they said in German. I was like, man, you can call us everything you want, but at the end of the day, every single year, one of us either won or at the worst case was on the podium at German Nationals. Most of the time we had a winner in something for years. And then I would rather be the guy on the podium winning the medals or the titles than the guy who gets the tap on the back for having a pretty technique. Who gives a shit? Honestly, I mean, like I said, this is not a coincidence. When you look at Thomas, yes, he had a higher cadence and all that, but underwater, high elbow catch, very good feeling for the water. And okay, so he didn't have a 6-speed kick. Has 2 Olympic medals. Okay, so same with Leoni Beck. Look at Leoni Beck's Instagram profile. Some people say technically not so good. I think it's crazy to say that Leo is not swimming technically good. I don't think you know anything about freestyle swimming if you say that. Again, I think her head positioning is fantastic. Her body position is fantastic. She's capable of generating a lot of force from her torso, like she uses her leverage very, very well. Yes, she's not 6-speed kicking, but whoever said that 6-speed kicking is a qualification or a necessity for somebody's technique to be good? I don't know, not in my opinion. Anyways, I don't want to go on a rant. Let's answer something else. Would you say it's common that your Druckphase, don't know the English word, is weaker to your breathing side? Potentially, yes. I think that if you breathe every 2, I assume you're talking about a technique that you breathe every other stroke. So you're breathing dominantly to one side. Then generally the side you breathe to is not as effective and not as strong of a pull as the one you don't breathe to. That just comes with the technique. If it's just the last part of the stroke, I think there it doesn't even matter that much as in the pulling phase. But again, those are things that I personally wouldn't worry about. I would just try to make both strokes as good as possible. And when you breathe every other stroke, naturally one side is going to be a little bit better than the other. Okay, other question by Andreas. No clue if this question was already asked. Should beginners start with flip turns or touch turns? And when should you switch? Is it good to learn flip turns right away to keep going with the flow? Fantastic question. Once again, since you joined us late, Andreas, keep showing or keep a look out for Markus Marthaler's Instagram and for my Instagram. We're going to launch our new community on Sunday, and we're going to have a flip turn tutorial in there too. I spent about, I think it's 45 minutes in total with video footage in a flip turn masterclass where I explain everything that you need for a flip turn. And you're on the right track. I think if you want to be able to flip turn, number 1, you need to learn how to push off a wall properly. Number 2, you need to learn how to do an open turn without flipping, and then you do a flip turn. If you start with a flip turn right away, I think you're setting yourself up for failure, or at least you're going to flatten your learning curve. If you master a good push off, it will make it easier for you to do the open turn. And if you master the open turn, it will then make it easier to do a flip turn, because it's always about positioning your feet in the right way that you can push off strong and carry a lot of speed into your next length. Okay, the fast flip comes all the way at the end. And that's actually the easy part. The hard part is to position your feet properly and correctly to get speed for the next length. Should your chin touch your chest? No. That's way too deep. I mean, we're here. If you go all the way here, then you're grading. Then that's not gonna happen. That's not good. You should swim almost like a little bit of an angry child, like this. Like this is the body position you need. Very good questions. I mean, in general, you should, if you're watching this by any chance, apologies, my throat is dry. If you're watching this by any chance and you think that you have a question and it may be stupid, please ask your question, please. There are no stupid questions. Trust me, if I go to my jiu-jitsu training, which I haven't done for 2 weeks, shame on me, but I'm just really busy right now, I ask a lot of stupid questions. That's just the way it is. If you want to learn something, you have to ask stupid questions. But it's not a stupid question. You ask questions. Stupid is a bad word. There are no stupid questions. Okay, but we are approaching the 45-minute mark. And once again, if you don't know my Instagram, you have to look for, I'm such a professional, I need to look for this myself. You have to look for this. And you will find Markus under Markus Marthaler. Okay, if you haven't followed us yet, follow us. If you don't want to follow us, at least keep an eye out for Sunday. Okay? Until then, I want to thank you. Oh, here's another one. Hi, Jan. Is intensive preparation in the swimming channel sufficient for Ironman preparation? Is intensive preparation in the swimming channel? So you have a flume. Is that your question? You have a flume, you have an endless pool? I don't know what you mean by channel. If you're talking about a flume, I guess. I think that's also, by the way, the most boring and the toughest way to prepare on your mind, because it's incredibly boring to swim in a channel, like you say, and on a flume. Time goes by incredibly slowly, but yeah, I think you can do it. I mean, why not? The good thing is you can put the pace that you need, and yeah, I mean, of course, you can do that and swim. No endless, the good stuff. Yeah. I had an old friend of mine who used to do training with me in Munich ask me about training plans for a flume, and I really got already thinking, but I didn't hear back from him. It is tricky. It is actually tricky to create a good training plan for a flume. But then again, you can. I mean, can you alternate the speed while you're swimming? Or how long does it take to adjust the speed? Would be interesting, because you can actually simulate interval training there. You can just ramp up the speed a little bit and then swim for like 2 minutes, rest, 2 minutes, rest. And then when you go slower, you turn the speed down a little bit and go straight. So actually, I think you are actually capable of putting together a fairly decent training plan in a flume, if it doesn't take forever and if it's not too much of a hassle to adjust the speed while you swim. But I'm not a flume expert. I have to ask Marcus. Marcus is a flume expert. I think he has his own one. But anyways, I hope this helped. I'm going to be done now. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all of your questions. Last one. This is the last one. Ich kann dort alles einstellen. Yeah, then you can be creative. You can be creative. But also good topic for our community. I tell you guys, if you don't sign up on Sunday for the starter deal, you deserve whatever you get. Okay? And yeah, jokes aside, you should really do that. I mean, you will get answers to everything, and it's going to be great. And I'm going to leave it like that. I hope everybody's doing good. I wish you a great week, and I hopefully talk to you very soon within our community. Okay, all the best. Take care. Have a great evening, and talk to you soon. Bye.